We have a light wind day today with 10 knots of wind, more or less. I think I'll need the big boy wing, the 9 square meter. I'll see you guys on the water. I checked after the session, it was around 8 to 9 knots of base wind, maybe some gusts of 12, 13, but it's 8 to 9 knots of base wind. It really kills me. It's like at the very, very limit of the setup for my weight. So it's tough. It's tough to get up on foil. Like every time getting up on foil takes a significant amount of energy. So you just have to try to really do your attempts when it's worth it, when there's a little gust or something, because otherwise you're out of the water pretty quick. So overall review of the Gong Superpower 9 square meter wing. It's the cheapest way for heavier guys like me to get a light wind-ish setup, but it comes with its limitations, right? Like you won't stretch it far below 10 knots. You need, I do believe you need gusts of 12 knots of wind or so to get up on foil. And you need also some gusts to get through jibes, or perfect technique. In jibes, it just turns slowly. So you really have to pump to get up to speed before the jibe and then execute everything perfectly. If you're a little bit unlucky, or you're hitting chop from behind or anything like that, then it's over. You're down. I went out with a big wing, maybe like half an hour or so. Had pretty perfect conditions for the big wing. It was super nice. I was connecting almost every jibe. The thing was, this extra power of the big wing really helped me. Like, whenever there's any kind of imperfection in the jibe, or you touch down a little bit, or you lose some speed, the extra power from the big wing just gets you over the hump, and you're back up on foil. The Gong 9 square meter wing, it has a fairly narrow ideal range of wind, which is between, for me with my gear, between 10 to 14 knots of wind. If you're up on foil and just going straight, it can easily go down to 6 knots. That's no problem, but you're not going to do jibes like that. And I don't think, previously I thought the race jibe would be the way to go, but I mean, I've tried it once on that wing. It's also like doing that race jibe maneuver on that big wing. You need to be pretty good at it, like fairly perfect technique to be able to like backwind the wing during the race jibe and get some push out of that. So yeah, you need to be an expert, I think, to do that. And remember also, I'm doing all of this in chop. There's always chop here. In flat water, it might all be a bit of a different story. And you might push that wind range a little bit further down. One negative thing about the Gong 9 square meter wing is that the harness lines are attached in a way like pretty far forward on the main strut, just because that main strut is so freakishly long and extends all the way back. So when you're hooked in with your harness, you always have to have some kind of backhand pressure on, which can be a bit tiring over time. And because of the shape of the wing, it's fairly narrowish. It doesn't have a huge wingspan for its insane size. But because it's so long, the wing tips are also long. And because you're holding the wing kind of diagonally as you wing foil, the wing tips are much more likely to touch the water compared to a 6 square meter Nutra that has the same wingspan but is not as long. Most of you may know about the most recent developments for super light wind wing foiling, the downwind boards, the really narrow boards, the long shapes that accelerate much more easily. Combined with like fairly large, super high aspect front wings that can be used then with smaller wings, you know, with 6 square meter or lower. I haven't tried this yet, obviously. I want to in the future. I definitely want to get a board like that at least as soon as my wallet allows it. And then I'll tell you all about it, of course. But I mean, we're talking about a completely different cost range or pricing range for this kind of setup, you know? Like getting this kind of specialized gear, you gotta get these high modulus masts, a board, and the wings for the foils are expensive. You need a titanium fuselage. So that can set you back like 3,000 euros, the whole setup. And so I don't think it's for everyone. Also, these narrow boards, probably you need to have some good balance to be able to use them. I'm really excited about trying this kind of setup because the giant wings, they're not ideal. They have some drawbacks. They can be fun sometimes, and I had some good sessions with mine. But also I've struggled a lot with it in some other sessions. Yeah, let me know, what is your preferred light wind setup? If you enjoy my video, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.